During last year's Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, 7 consecutive time champion Joey Chestnut set a world record eating 69 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
69 hot dogs.
To put in perspective what 69 hot dogs looks like inside a human body, we brought in a one-of-a-kind anthropomorphic dummy complete with a hot dog stomach. That's its official science term. Here we go.
It's a plunger.
Oddly, though, that is what it sounds like when Joey eats. Normally, a human can stomach, on average, about 1 liter of food before the nausea reflex kicks in, signaling us to stop eating. But competitive eaters train their bodies to ignore this reflex. As a result, their stomachs are capable of holding down 4+ liters of food, a capacity more than 4 times greater than the average stomach. When you eat so many hot dogs, your stomach expands and actually does push all of your organs out of the way. This right here, that's 50 hot dogs. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. 2 more hot dogs to the record. Woo! 69! This is 69 hot dog buns, 69 hot dogs, and over 2 quarts of water. This is what it looks like inside the human body. 0 to 9 months pregnant in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Now, ingesting 69 hot dogs is equivalent to consuming over 20,000 calories. Theoretically, by slowly rationing out that many calories, a person could survive for about 4 months. I mean, it wouldn't exactly be a picnic, but it's possible.
It's possible.
For ESPN Sports Side.
Yeah. All right. So this is the main topic for today. How is it that these competitive eaters, these people who eat so much, how much? 52 hot dogs? Or let alone I cannot even eat 10 under 10 minutes or within 10 minutes time. The question is, how is it that they do not gain weight or basically get fat? So this is what we're going to address. So to actually make this really concrete, we're gonna be reacting to a real life, it's not a real life superhero, but this same guy, a real life competitive eater.
I'm Joey Chestnut,
and we're gonna see exactly what he goes through. And this is him. He's gonna answer the hard questions. And hopefully by the end of this video, we're gonna learn what is their trick. Because I think sometimes, I used to think that, okay, maybe after when they finish eating, what happened is they just basically puke all the food out. I really wanna know, okay, what is their strategy and actually, basically eat so much and yet not get fat.
Ranked #1 in the world. Let's answer some questions from the internet. This is competitive eating support.
Where is this?
At Tanner Dean McCoy wants to know, what is easier to eat in one sitting? 18 Krispy Kreme donuts or 1 large pizza? 18 Krispy Kreme donuts. Oh my God, those donuts are like air. They go down fast, especially if they're warm. I love pizza, but crust always slows you down. 18 donuts, so easy. Those won't even make it home from the drive-thru. At Virgil, woke way too early and then just wondered, how do competitive eaters not just die?
Okay, so now we have the sound check. The sound is ready. Let's get this here and right here. So now there's all of these things. The sound, I was not hearing it. You guys could have heard it, but I couldn't. But now I think everything should be fine. Working fine. Let's do this.
The amount of salt in their body. If somebody tried to eat 70 hot dogs for the first time, they might die. It's kind of like the person who ran the first marathon. They died. But now millions of people can run a marathon because they know how to train. Eating 70 hot dogs, I've trained and made my body adapt to it. Our bodies are absolutely amazing.
70 hot dogs.
I've trained and made my body adapt to it. Our bodies are...
Okay. if someone tried to eat 70 hot dog for the first time, they might die. It's kind of like the person who run the, okay, this is basically the same thing he just said earlier.
Absolutely amazing. At Not Bubba Wallace, I can't understand why anyone would dunk a bun in water instead of just eating hot dogs like a sane person and washing it down with some water.
Yeah, for me, I don't understand it too. And what is the prize to win in this actually?
Well, apparently Not Bubba Wallace isn't very competitive in anything. Dunking the bun makes it faster. We're skipping the step of having to drink the water by dunking. I'm eating one hot dog, using the wet bun as a sip of water to help swallow the hot dog. That's the way it works with competition. It's not always pretty. For the upcoming contest, there's a no dunking rule. I've been practicing eating hot dogs without dunking. I have to take the right size bite, right amount of water, see how fast I can get this bad boy down.
All right, so let's see. This need to move again. Maybe this time I'll just do it without the frame. All right, because I can move this around better. All right, so the timing was here. Let's get.
Pretty slow.
So, oh wow. 8.3 seconds to eat one hot dog.
But that's about it. At James W. Bell Music, how does one train to eat so many hot dogs?
That's
My
the
training
question.
isn't too much different from like a runner. Runners have to run, eaters have to eat. It's hard because I can't practice
Yeah,
every
but what
day.
is it
Once
that
a
you
week,
do?
I'm doing a practice contest, and then there's a recovery period, a cleanse, a fast, so I'm empty for my next practice. Day of contest, I like black coffee. The acid from the coffee gets the things in your stomach while moving around, and you're ready and a little amped up from the caffeine. I wouldn't call it a drug, but I do think caffeine helps. At NY Design Guy, what do competitive eaters do after the contest? Do they purge or just digest? Either way, seems uncomfortable. The best competitive eaters do digest the food. I only get sick if there's something wrong, if I'm dehydrated or the food's bad. When you say
Really? Do digest the food. So which means they don't pick it out. They just eat and just leave it as it is.
comfortable, that's where I'm really lucky. I kind of like the feeling of being bloated. That's one of the things that works in my favor. I'm trying to stay vertical and stay walking around. It helps the food settle deep and starts digestion. After that, then I'm thirsty and I just want to go to sleep and have some crazy dreams. Some contests, I'm putting on a lot of weight. The most I've gained is, I think it's been more than 20 pounds, and it takes about 5 days for me to get back to my normal weight. But
Digest the food. I'll try to stay vertical. Okay, basically this is what you just said.
I love it. At Carl I Winning, do professional eaters like lose from stopping because their jaw hurts, not because they're full? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Your jaws and your throat muscles slow down a lot of competitive eaters. Like the food settles at the back of their throat because their throat muscles are weak. Really important for us to train those muscles and get them strong. At I'm Nasty Nat, how do competitive eaters not choke, just swallowing whole hot dogs like nothing? I have seen people choke. It's always the person, it's their first contest and they're just trying to keep up. It's always turned out okay. Run DM.
Yeah, I understand about being competitive. I'm a competitive person when it comes to sport. But what I do not understand is food. I love food and I wouldn't want to be eating like this, but for some reason it works for him.
C912 wants to know, anyone else wonder how people get into competitive eating? Do they enter regional tournaments and work their way up? I'm genuinely curious. I did my first contest when I was 21. It was at a casino in Reno. They offered me a free hotel room. I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it. I tied for third, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do another local one. 3 contests later, I was at Coney Island on the 4th of July, and I got third. In order to be a good competitive eater, you have to love eating. It's always easier to eat a lot of food if you like it.
Yeah.
At TW for Fat asks, how do competitive eaters not gain weight? Dude, I do gain weight, and it's a battle. I have to be aware of it because if I lose track of my long-term calorie intake, I gain weight, then I start losing contests. I hate losing. Without getting graphic.
Wait, did he just say he gained weight and he started losing contests? So meaning it's more advantageous for him or for them, competitive eaters, to stay at a decent weight?
I'm taking in thousands and thousands of calories during a contest. Yeah. There's no way to absorb all those calories. Things are running through me. My normal routine after contests is to eat super high fiber, keep everything moving, low carb, no starches. Doing cardio helps me with my breathing.
Yeah, you need a lot of fiber because you need to go to the toilet to do number 2 to get all of these excess calories out.
Breathing during a contest, but I don't depend on cardio to burn calories necessarily. I try to get into a calorie deficit in order to get back to normal weight. Some people.
Oh, wow. So basically, he goes through a period of eating a lot of calories, 20,000 calories. And on average, well, to eat 70 hot dogs, you're going to get more than 20,000 calories in one sitting in 1 minute. So his counterbalance to actually lose the weight, or basically to net gain weight, is to go in a caloric deficit, meaning that he eats so little after the little amount of calories that his body actually need to survive. And plus, he has a lot more calories than he would need. The guy said in the first video that it will take maybe a couple of months before this entire food that he's eaten within 10 minutes time to actually, really run out in his stomach, from his stomach.
Monk, while they're eating, they kind of overstuff their mouth and they keep food in their cheeks. Kind of amateur way to eat. You're not moving the food efficiently. You want to keep everything moving at the same pace and not letting it build up. At Jiggy PA, serious question for competitive eaters: do you all actually taste what you're eating?
Yeah, of course. You put it in your mouth, of course you're gonna taste it.
Of course we taste it. It's like a race car driver. Can they tell if they're driving on a crappy road? I really like when it's good food. I really hate when it's a food that I love and they did a bad job with it. Oh, there's nothing worse than that.
Imagine.
If it's a taste I like, it definitely is easier. First couple minutes.
Yeah, of course, because, especially that he likes to eat food, and for sure, if the food is tasty and it's something that he likes, it's gonna be more pleasurable.
Of a contest, I'm a fat guy having fun. If there's a flavor I don't like, it hits me again and again and again. Everything's more work when it's not a good taste. At J66DSKC, do eating competitions have weight classes like fighting? Because I'm positive that for my weight class, I could absolutely smoke most people. There's no weight classes. For the most part, men and women compete next to each other.
Yeah, you can see that jaw line. The jaw basically gets stronger because it's actually an exercise for the jaw.
Big and small compete against each other. The healthier you are, the harder you can push your body. There are big guys who can eat a lot of food. Great guys, but they can't do it in 10 minutes. All the top eaters are pretty healthy. I wish I was a little bit more fit, but I love.
Really? All the top eaters are pretty healthy.
Eat. At Odell wants to know, anyone ever examined the health of competitive eaters?
I mean, that would be counterintuitive. You would expect for them to be basically not healthy, for chunking down so much food at such a rapid pace, and at the same time, under a few minutes, or just 10 minutes, maximum 20 minutes, and they are pretty much healthy.
I wonder.
I can imagine why, because that's an unhealthy process. You need something to counteract, to bring back the pendulum or the balance back into its original place.
Is it any worse than normal? One of my biggest splurges is my doctor. He does my blood work, and there have been times where I go to him and I'm heavy, but he's really happy with the way everything's working right now. Most competitions.
Really, look at these guys. They are not huge. Basically just slim people who likes to eat a lot and who can eat a lot of food at a fast pace.
Aren't necessarily healthy. Any kind of athlete. I don't think we're much worse than normal. Contests and practice take a toll. Some contests are really hard on the body. It takes days to recover. Some contests are hard on the mouth. If it's a fried food, my mouth is raw for a couple days. There's always
I can imagine.
Recovery period after a contest. You gotta be willing to put up with it. At 3T Productions wants to know, who ranks the competitive eaters? Does it matter if you eat kale or pancakes or hot dogs? America needs answers. There is a league, Major League Eating. Right now I'm ranked number 1. They rank based off performance in contests. There is a kale contest, there's pancakes, and hot dogs. And hot dogs are the most important contest of the year. Every food's a little bit different. Every eater has their own strengths, weaknesses. Some people are capacity eaters, some people are good swallowers. My general training method is building tolerance. If I'm in a kale contest, I have to practice with kale. If it's hot dogs, I'm building my tolerance with hot dogs, getting my body comfortable with it.
Yeah, you need to build up your tolerance, or else it's gonna puke it all out, and that's the end of the competition for him.
Committee 83 wants to know, how do competitive eaters afford to train? I assume they find all you can eat buffets that they haven't been kicked out of and plop a chair down and just go to town.
Yeah, but some restaurants also, especially in his level, some restaurants would love to have him over to try whatever they have in the menu, and at the same time in a big amount of it. So which means it's publicity for the restaurants.
Very rarely go to buffets. If I'm training for the kale contest or hot dog contest or bologna, I have to train with that food. Most of the time, sponsors will send me the food, which is awesome. But also, the food we're eating, like,
Wow. All of that fitting in this person's stomach. And her stomach was probably smaller than his. Well, it is smaller than his if he's actually the winner, the number one. So definitely.
contest is not that much when you think about it. It costs about $40 to do a practice. I'm not eating anything for 2 days leading up to that practice, and then afterwards I'm not eating very much. I'm eating vegetables. At MVenter, competitive eating crowd, what's your favorite or go-to donut consumption technique? For contests or for pleasure? Because I love bitterness of black coffee with sweetness of donut, but for contests, most donut contests, we're not allowed to dunk donuts. Alternate between eating, sip of water. Alternate. You find that rhythm and don't overstuff your mouth. At Sammy D-Dub wants to know, what do competitive hot dog eaters do the rest of the year that isn't July 4th? Do they have regular jobs, or is there a professional hot dog eating international circuit? Yeah, there's tons of contests. I have records in like 50 different foods, and I love it. Hot dogs is probably the biggest contest of the year, but I do everything from wings, ribs, pizza. I stay busy. At DG, Jaden wants to know, how do competitive eaters not get hiccups? I always be hiccuping whenever I eat quickly. I never get hiccups. I stopped getting hiccups after I was like 12 years old. You might want to go to the doctor, Jaden. I burp. A lot of times during a contest, we call it catching a burp. You have to stop eating for a second so you can burp, and you have to be careful not to nothing comes out. Those are all the questions for today. Thank you for watching Competitive Eating Support.
Nice. All right. So, did you guys know there are some countries which ban competitive eating, and you will get basically a fine, and a fine if you actually do competitive eating, because it is, some cultures look at it as wasting of food wastage. So I mean, for some country in the US, for sure, they have a lot of food, so competitive eating shouldn't be an issue with them. But not all countries are actually, see it as a sport. That's one thing, and they don't see it as a good practice. And then when it comes to humanity, because there's a lot of people in the world who are starving, but yet they see it as an exercise of excess. So basically, yeah, in China, if you do practice in competitive eating, you'll get fined for it. So this was basically what it's about. Competitive eaters, you would think that they are unhealthy people, but actually they are very healthy. And the way that actually the method they use to not gain weight or extra become very obese is that, like you've seen in the video, there's a lot of these guys who basically they are very slim, even though they're eating so much calories at such a quick period of time. Let me see if I can find that segment that to show you these guys, they are very slim. Or basically, for example, look at this one in the middle, all of them here. You would imagine, since they are competitive eaters, they're eating a lot of calories at a quick period of time, that they will gain a lot of weight. But the method that they use is basically after they've done this competition, for example, what they will do is not eat for a couple of days, and they will eat a lot of fibers, because fibers, especially if you're feeling constipated or if you have diarrhea, you need to consume more fiber food. You can just check it out. Food that has fibers in them helps the bowel movement, helps everything to move around. It's not just about drinking water. You need fibers also. So this is the way, one thing that they do also, they eat a lot of fibers afterwards. And over time as well, their diet consists of healthy eating. And okay, one also thing I want to mention, the last thing, is that they go into a caloric deficit. So meaning they eat less calories than they would normally do in order to combat the fact that they could gain a lot of weight. And that was about it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. As I always say at this time, peace.